welcome to the bi-weekly meeting podcast for the OWASP Generative AI Security Project. If you'd like to stay up to date with our project, please click subscribe. And if you enjoy the content or have any questions, please feel free to comment and share. Now, on to our meeting.
All right, let's kick this off. Everybody, welcome to the July 16th, bi-weekly meeting of the OWASP Gen AI Security Project. We're going to go through some updates from some of the key projects and see what's going on in the project right now. So, Scott, why don't you take us through what's going on the roadmap?
Yeah, I just wanted to include this because I do know from our last call that we sometimes get new folks popping onto the call, and wanted to do two things: make sure folks knew if they're interested in what's coming up, this is the place to go. We did just do the Q2 update, so I thank all the leads for kind of getting that up and running, up and updated. So this is the place to go for roadmap updates. I assume that folks will have in their sections, they'll have some updates potentially, but this is our roadmap to check out. So if you want to jump in and participate, if you see something in here that strikes your fancy, reach out to the particular group. There's details on that page as well, who to reach out to, and hop on in and get engaged with the rest of the team.
Hey, Scott, I know we talked about it on one of the recent meetings. We were going to update the getting started page with more pointers to the sub projects.
Yep.
Did that happen?
That's in process, so hopefully
Okay.
that will get updated by the end of this week. So
Perfect.
folks will have updates there. We're also looking to put together, I think we talked about before, putting together some helper videos to kind of give people a place to get, how to get started, where to go, a little bit about how do we govern the project, just like 30-second snippets. So I'm in the process of putting those together. So we'll have those to be quick guides for folks too.
Okay. Oh, just on that note, when we do get that getting started page updated, let's make sure we post that to our top level channels. I think that's important, and I'll want to broadcast that out. I think a bunch of us will, as a way to get in front of those questions we all get about, hey, I want to help, I want to get started. So
yeah, we'll have some resources so folks like yourselves and other folks can kind of just, there'll be kind of LinkedIn posts that you can pick up and run with, and all that sort of thing that we normally do when we kind of roll something out. So we'll do that, and because I think there's going to be a lot of interest around that. Just as a side note, we are also, with the web team engaged, they're working right now on doing some updates to our look and feel. They've been looking at sort of the journey for new folks coming on board, and we're trying to streamline the experience when you come to the website so folks can see where they are and where they need to get to. So the team has been working on that, so I'll be reviewing that later in the week.
awesome. All right, so Scott, I think this is still you.
Yeah, it's going to be me for a few slides, I think, unfortunately.
Okay.
Sorry, folks.
Mhm.
So I wanted to do an update on what's coming. So 2 weeks ago, we talked about, we had a lot of stuff happening in July. So we've got the translations that are coming out, our Group 2 translations. I'm targeting for actually tomorrow this week. We have everything staged, ready to go. We just are waiting for the translated descriptions for the different assets, and so those are coming. And I know Klesh has been working on those, so I expect those shortly, and the web team will get that updated as well. I understand as we are on the agentic side, and I think I'll let John go into more detail because I think he has more detail on some slides I saw he added in here. But we're on process on each of those. We have sent those to be a couple of those for layout so that we can get them laid out and ready to go. We just finished layout for response guide. So that's the incident response guide. So that I just sent to Brian today from BB, and so we'll get that hopefully out 7/28 is the target. And then we've got the Compass coming up, and I've checked in with Sandy, and it looks like we still have to do a little bit of a naming review. The run book is laid out, and that's complete. She sent me the link to the actual Compass, and we're moving that over to an OWASP account. And so hopefully by the end of next week, hopefully Thursday next week, we'll get that out
Oh no.
to everybody.
I bet that means I got to get some videos made. Okay.
Well, it's going to be dependent a little bit on that. So I'm hoping Thursday. If we can't do that, we can do that afterwards. So we're gonna find some time this week before this week goes away to sync up. So I want to make sure we've got everything ready to go on that.
Okay.
So, but I got your calendar, so we'll work on getting that set.
Okay.
But for folks, we have a lot coming out here in July. It's going to be running all the way up until the edge, and I think maybe even a couple things may slip into the first part of August as we come into Black Hat and that sort of thing. Anybody want to comment on any of their deliverables? I'll talk about the solutions guide in just a little bit. So I didn't include that in here. That is also coming out in July.
Yeah, so I know that Telesh said he wouldn't make it today, but I'll try and summarize a comment on his behalf. There's been a lot of I think new mechanization that we had to build to redo some of how we build the PDFs for the core product. So I think a ton of work has gone into that. So there's been both the individual teams doing the translations who've worked hard on that. They've been doing that all as markdown. Telesh decided to take the hard way in the short term, which is hopefully the easy way in the long term, which is refuse to turn this over to human hands to lay them out and mechanize that. And we had to get some closed source pieces that weren't working for us taken out, get some fresh stuff put in where we had proper control for the project so we could streamline this going forward. It seems like he's done a really good job of that. So kudos to him, Telesh, if you're watching this, or anybody from the translation teams. This is exciting to get out. I know there are some ones behind this that are also grouped up. I think this will mean by the time we get through these next couple groups, we'll have 10 plus languages that core list is translated into, covering probably 90% of the planet, which is crazy and amazing. So kudos to that team.
Yeah, Telesh has done a tremendous job kind of getting us through that transition, which is great. And I think what we want to do is we want to start to also transition other projects. So right now we're using that primarily for the top 10. We're using that from the checklist. And so I think as we will work to revise our delivery process, our PLG for PLM for lack of a better term. So we want to incorporate that into the back end of that. So we already have our release processes and development processes pretty well defined. And I think if we can start to bake that into the end, that can help us with streamlining delivery on other projects. But that's going to be a future thing that I think will tap Telesh, since it sounds like he may actually have a little bit more time to kind of help us get that done.
Yep. And just, hey, one other note on the top 10, in case there are new people watching. For the core top 10 list, right now we're just sort of riding on the 2025 list, seems generally fairly current, and we're happy with that. Ads and I have agreed our tentative plan is sometime in Q4, meaning October, November, December, we'll announce the kickoff plan for the 2026 list with an intent to ship that in Q1 of calendar 26. So if you're interested in participating in that, sort of the central project of the project, initiative of the project, I guess that's the proper term. Sit tight. We'll be making some announcements there, reforming that team to get after it. But for right now, I think we decided the best thing is to just let things develop a little more, especially with all the rapid advancements in model technology and agent stuff and all that stuff that's going on. We'll let that ride out a bit. On that note, though, just in terms of the relevance of that document, Ads and I got asked to come do a presentation at the ISC2 virtual conference last week. I think we did that or was it this Monday? I don't know. It was last week or this week. It was a little while ago. from what I understand, we had over 3,000 people on the webinar that we presented. I got 600 plus LinkedIn invitations in the 12 hours that followed that. People seem to really like it, and it's just a reminder of the the cyber community, and that's really central, hardcore cyber community. They're still super interested in this stuff, and they still don't know any of it. It was an incredibly
Yeah.
kind of introductory 20-minute overview that we did with a fireside discussion, and very well received. So despite the fact that we're advancing really far into these kind of up the stack topics like agentic and red teaming and things, just that core base education stuff that the project is filling in this space is still super important, especially as we bring more and more people into this AI community that needs to get secured. So just sharing that.
Yeah, that'd be great too if you could share the links when they have those live. We can put those in the learning section along with some of our other things so people
Yeah,
can
let
find
me
that
see
easily.
if those are recorded and available publicly. I'll go dig those up for you.
Yeah, they should be. We did an ISC2 some time ago, and they typically will have them. They may not be right away, but they should be shortly thereafter so that we can share it with everybody. Because I think you're right. Everything we've been talking about is that a lot of the work that the team has done here, our community has done, is well ahead of where people are. And so education is kind of the core tenet of what we need to kind of be working on the next year or so, just to get the stuff out there so people understand what the resources are and what's available to support them. And to mention that, and to going on to education, here we go. So I didn't even plan that as a segue. So so we've got two things coming up. So we ended up doing something at Black Hat thanks to Tenable able to get us a spot there. We will actually be doing basically a 3-hour briefing in beer event. So actually it's briefing in brews if you look at the invite, same event. It's on the 6th of August, and we're going to be going through some new agentic content that will be out there. So please join us. QR code is here. It's open to anybody. You do not need to have a Black Hat badge to attend this event. So anybody can attend this one. The other one that the agentic team is kicking off, and Ali and Helen have been kind of leading that. Oh yes, and the most epic. What did he? It's not called. I saw it.
Yeah, didn't we call the RSA party the most epic RSA party ever? Or Steve
Yeah, we
did?
did. Steve did. Yeah, we can call this the most epic Black Hat party ever. Yeah, I'm happy for folks to jump in, and that's another advertisement for folks who want to participate in the outreach working group, who want to come with their ideas. Bring your ideas, and let's spin this stuff so that we can keep the excitement going. So, thanks, Rock, for the pointer and the opportunity to advertise for participation. And so we have the other thing that's happening is our DEFCON event, and that's going to be with Alan and Helen are going to be leading that, as well as Jason. Jason, I believe, is also going to have a red teaming session. Timing is being finalized there, and you'll be able to go there, do a little bit of creating some agents, breaking some agents, and then the top 3 winners will get added to the Agentic Hall of Fame. Get a cute little plaque that they can take with them, so something tangible. And it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be at the Las Vegas Convention Center at DEF CON in the OWASP Village. So you do need to have a badge for that. So that one's not completely open. Well, it's open as you can buy a badge. But come on and join. We already have quite a few people who have signed up for the registration for that already, which is great. So a couple of great opportunities to get educated on both what the project is doing on the agentic side and the roadmap, as well as get your hands dirty building some agents that you can go ahead and break at the same time.
Cool. Scott, were we going to have Zoe come out for one of these and do some social interviews and stuff?
Yeah, we're going to talk about which one makes sense to kind of do that for, or both, unfortunately, depending upon availability. So yeah, that's something that we can certainly do.
All right.
I think it would be good. It just depends upon availability. So we got Wednesday the 6th and then the 9th. I also do want to do an honorable mention. There is a party by the Prompt Foo team. Prompt Foo is an open source project and company, and they're going to be having a on the same day at DEFCON. They're going to be having a event that evening, so you can do some coding and then you can go join their event. I'll be sending out more details around that particular event as well. So we want to make sure that we're where we have our community and sponsor partners, that people can get engaged and participate in those events too. So we're going to try to make that available in the next week or so that people can see different things they can go do through our community at Black Hat.
Cool. Scott, let's you and I touch base offline this week. I was not planning to go to Black Hat, but I can swing it out for a day, so I just need to figure out whether it makes more sense to come Wednesday or Friday. So we'll sync up offline and see how I can help.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
Yep. This was kind of coming together at the last minute, which we appreciate.
Hey, it's less last minute than New York, so it's all good.
I would, yeah, okay. A little bit less last minute than New York.
Yeah.
All right. So next thing that's coming, so switching gears, so moving out of the outreach side to kind of talk a little bit about what we're doing from a solution side. So solution landscape, which is the Q2, which is going to be the Q2, Q3, because we've had a lot of changes happening, and those have been incorporated. We have locked down the list of the solutions landscape, and based on our current solutions that are listed on our site, we are introducing 2 new lenses as part of this, and this is really to kind of layer on top of the SecOps framework that exists for generative AI in general. There are 2 of them. First is the agentic lens, which really kind of takes the project lifecycle, your development lifecycle, aligns with then the SecOps actions that we need to take, and then the solutions that are doing that. So submissions are open now. We've got about 35 company submissions right now that have completed it. The other piece of this is we are also mapping this to the current agentic list of risks. So our current agentic, I think there's 15 risks that have been identified. So very much like we did with the top 10 lists, this will help organizations, individuals understand the open source projects, products, and resources that are available to them to address the agentic lifecycle. And so that is going to be coming out. We're going to have the first release of this coming out ideally before Black Hat, and we'll continue to iterate on it. So here's the QR code. Snap it quickly. Go ahead and fill out the form. And you don't have to be a company. You can be a developer who has a really cool tool that you like to use. That's an open source tool that you think is really helpful in the area of agentic security. Jump in, submit it, share it, and then we'll continue to build on that. So again, we're just trying to help people connect not just the risks and mitigations, but also what are the solutions that they can use to kind of help make life easier as we keep looking at these new architectures and these new areas in AI.
So I just want to make sure I'm parsing correctly. So we have the solutions framework doc that we've been publishing for a while. Is the
Yes.
agentic one a different doc or a sub piece of
No,
bigger doc?
it's part of the solutions doc.
Okay.
And so, yep. So it's part of that solutions framework, and so because it builds upon the existing SecOps framework that we defined for Gen AI. So think about these as a layer cake, where you've got the generative AI processes and security ops tasks that you need to operate, regardless of whether you're doing an agentic app or a RAG app or whatever the particular type of target application you're building or using. And then on top of that, you've got obviously an agentic lens. And then the other piece we have is that we've been asked for is also to take a look at what are the solutions and tools from a red teaming perspective. So red teaming has evolved a lot for AI. And so we've taken, again, the same approach, looking at the development life cycle and then figuring out what are the capabilities we need to have through that development life cycle for the different red teaming tools. And if you go to the next slide, we're in the process of finalizing this capability review. This is the current list. If you have interest in contributing to this, join me over on the solutions side. These are both examples of where we're working across different work streams within the project to make sure that we're both aligning and supporting the different work streams. So this is also being worked along with our red teaming group. So Jason and others have been having input in part of it. So this has been a cross initiative piece of work. And so this is kind of what we're trying to do, generally speaking, with all of our initiatives, is to make sure we're connecting the dots between them, not just the security dots for practitioners, but also the dots between the different resources that we have available and ideally how to use them. And I think that's also where things like Sandy, the Compass starts to come in as a tool to kind of really do that as well. So this is just speaking to the kind of the trend and direction that we're moving overall the project. So if you're interested in contributing on the red teaming side of this, we're also moving toward getting this done. The capability framework here will be out before Black Hat. We won't have the list of solutions before Black Hat. That is after, but just to give you an idea of the timing. On our blog side of things, we have a new blog. So we did this one blog earlier in the year, where we did a roundup of the public exploits around or incidents that were called up around generative AI. And so we just published a new updated list for March through June. And so that just is available. So if you're interested in what those are, we're going to do this semi-regularly. We haven't decided exactly, but it's not designed to be a comprehensive list. It's just designed to be a reference of, some of the ones that we've picked out.
All right. Do we have anybody from the CTI team on today? I'm not sure we do.
Brian had to jump.
Okay.
Brian, to jump.
Well, hey, it looks like they are in final edits on the response guide, which I think Scott mentioned, and then the exploit generation initiative. They got the research plan finalized, and they've got a meeting cadence, and they have 4/22. I don't know what kind of date that is, but
yeah, I think that seems like 4/22 seems like next year. So maybe that's a typo there.
7/22.
No, I think picking up in September or so. So yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
September.
Okay.
So, and also just to let folks know, I did set aside funding for the tooling. So we do have dollars to go out and support the tooling here. We were working initially with a company to see if we could get, as we always do, what can we get for free? And so we kind of crossed the boundary where what do we get for free stopped getting responses. So now we're to we'll fund it. And so again, thanks to our sponsors for funding us and sponsoring the project. That allows us to do this and enable our teams to go use tooling to be able to scale this stuff up. So just letting folks know that we do have that resource and that is allocated for this project. So again, just thanks to our sponsors.
Rock on. All right, so Agentic, I know we've got John on, so I assume, John, you can give us an update.
Right. So when we started this, I'm sure you all remember, when we started the Agentic Security Initiative, we talked about top 10s, we talked about how do we relate things to the existing LLM landscape, and that's why we decided our first phase would be to explore and define the area. We're getting to the point where we're completing this phase, so threats and mitigations, and I talked about the impact that it has been released, data with a threat navigator, and a few other guides. So the securing agentic guide, as Scott mentioned, is on final checks, and that's primarily making sure all our contributors are to their affiliations. I don't want to have more kind of conversations on that. And the state of agentic AI security and governance is being under distinguished expert review. That will be completed by Monday, and then I'm already having a call with the team Lambros, Evgeny, and Kayla of how we're processing, and it looks like the feedback is not massively different from what we have done there. So that's in a good shape too. Code samples, we now have code samples for many frameworks and vulnerabilities that's there, and we kind of tested a little bit the ground with research with the agentic naming service, and we paused that a little bit because we want to understand how that fits in with all the work that we do. But overall, I think amazingly, with people's support, and I want to thank everyone that participates in that initiative, we managed to go through that journey where we have defined the full life cycle of what agentic means, and more importantly, but still back to your point, instead of just arbitrarily say, oh, this is a new cool thing that appeared, how does it relate and expand the LLM so that our practitioners and policymakers don't get confused by the advice that we give them? And if we go to the next step, to the next slide, please, Steve. A lot of text in there, but this is, this is kind of why I think we're ready to do what I'm going to describe in the next slide. The threats and mitigations, that taxonomy, that extended taxonomy, really frame the agentic security discussion. We saw it, it underpins all other guides. A lot of work has been gone into making sure that the threat modeling guide, for instance, doesn't introduce another taxonomy that references that. It's being referenced by Microsoft's recent paper on agentic fault modes, and in fact, 2 of the contributors there, including the lead, are now part of our distinguished review board. We have 2 researchers, and I can't remember the names. That's why I put 2 exceptional. I'm sorry for you watching this, Claudia and Chris. It's just kind of, I didn't have the time. From Oxford University and Meta, they have written a paper that they haven't published it out because they want to see very nicely. They contact us and they want the group to review, and then we'll publish it both as part of the OWASP research, the project's and initiatives research track, but also, on Archive. We will also have it as an expert submission, something that we want people to do, but it shows how, kind of the impact. Organizations have started using it in healthcare. We saw some of that. Security tooling, Splix AIs with the fantastic agentic radar has led Pencer and AI and me, the 2 new startups that are using taxonomy. And what I like is, in all cases, again, the consistency we bring is really important. The top 10 for LLMs, and then, the threats and mitigations that we have. So there is consistency rather than just a babel of kind of threats and acronyms. 2 of the things that Scott already covered, but really we led that community, the phrase that I always use is expert-backed for sure, but always community-led conversation. We did that in RSA. I'm really, really jealous that you're doing it in Black Hat, and I won't be able to be there, but I'm really pleased for you. Ali is just superb on doing those hackathons. And it's really important for us because we're getting so much great feedback. We have the code repository, we have examples there for every threat and for every threat rather, I wouldn't should be exaggerating. For every threat we have in the document, there is an example. And that's really, really important in validating and understanding how that fits in with people's day-to-day life. You all know that I work for Camus, and I also wrote the implementation guide for the UK's Cybersecurity Code of Practice. We are writing now supplemental guides to track this new development. So we're creating an agentic AI implementation guide, a supplemental guide that we will also submit to ETSI for additional standardization. The importance of that, I don't want to be lost. So the ETSI is a European international standardization with the support of other governments. We are harmonizing it now with SenseNLEC, which is the European standards, which is also harmonized with ISO. So you can see how our work actually will underpin very nicely the official, the formal standards. And I really love what we do as a project. We're not just creating headlines and link posts and everything. We're creating this continuity, this consistency that helps people do the job efficiently. And of course, very biased, I said, well, this is a solid foundation for us to create a top 10 for agentic applications. And again, I'm hasten to highlight here that we're not just creating an arbitrary thing based on the feedback, always referring back to the LLM applications. We produce tons of things. I think now it's the time to create a top 10 that helps people minds focus instead of having to go through pages and pages. Next slide, and I promise is the last one. So this is kind of the ambition here. This is what we're going to do. Next week on the call, I will share the first I will share the plan. I will share the survey that we're going to have and the votes. I would like, and Scott, I will work with you. Let's do an announcement there. I've already agreed with Ali to do what does she call her fabulous podcast, Insecure Agents, but it would be nice, Aubrey, if we do one for the project too, where we talk about all the things that I mentioned, how we got here, because I think that framing is really important. Then we want to go to the draft curation. We'll learn from the top 10 for LLM. So we're doing something similar here. The feedback that we got for threats and mitigations, the hackathon feedback, a bit of brainstorming, some expert submissions, and we expect to have some from other groups, and then survey and votes. What I'd like us to do, I was hoping that you guys will do the session early in the day, but it sounds like it's not, because I was kind of thought, oh, maybe we could do something like the Band-Aid, where we start something here in London and then we dial in, but it looks like that's not possible. However, on Black Hat, I won't be able to be there, but Ron will be there, and with the rest of you, we'll present the first draft that we have for public consultation. I'm doing UK Laser is the government's AI security incubator. So I'm doing in the morning a workshop with them on where we are with OWASP, where we're going with the top 10. And then I've invited quite a few people here at the Kano's office to match the activities on Black Hat, where I will talk to Scott afterwards so that we do a joint global call with you guys in the US. It will be nice to start spreading things across the continents. I talked to a few of our distinguished expert board. They'll be happy to join. Let's make a big splash out of it. Let's then do all the work and go for publication on November the 1st. And that's my very excited update for today.
Cool.
That's great,
Hey,
John.
go ahead, Scott.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so that's great, John. One of the things we want to talk about, and so we're working on a press and analyst roundtable. We're looking at setting up 2 of those between now and the end of the year. So I'd like to, as we do this, because as we talked about this, having sort of our distinguished board experts, I'd like to bring them projects, and we're going to have a couple of different themes with our press and analyst roundtables. So I'd like to pick up, and just after August, probably beginning of September, we'll do our agentic related roundtable. So just put that on we'll put that on the roadmap and let you know that to think about who we want to bring to that. And that's going to be open to some targeted analysts that have expressed interest in some press, and then we'll start to have that conversation. So
yeah,
that'd be great, Scott.
Tap me on that one too, Scott. I can come up with a short list of press analysts who will be keenly interested in that, I think.
Yeah, you're going to be tagged on it. You're on it. So whether you know it or not yet, but
well, I'm happy to participate. I'm also just happy to help you plan the invitee list, and I've got some high profile ones that I think would be keen.
Cool. Yeah, and we can pass those. Why don't you share those with me, and I can pass those over to the PR team who's going to do the coordination on the outreach for us.
Sounds good.
Excellent.
Sandy.
Hey guys, so as Scott mentioned, we are set after a lot of effort to get the first version of the Compass out. I found this paper. Somebody sent me this paper this week that was just fantastic, and it talked about a Zugzwang. Has anyone heard of that before? It was a new term to me. No chess players on the call? Oh, yes, we have one person in the chat that's been there. So in chess, so the title of the paper is AI Security Zugzwang. And what it describes is a scenario where any move worsens the player's position. And, the reason I'm pointing this out is this paper completely talks to what I'm trying to solve with Compass, which is, we have this AI security stuff being added to environments that already had a lot of issues and it's going really fast. So as a team, how do we build a strategy to be able to get in front of that, have that resilient mind threat? Like, don't try to prevent anything, don't try to get in the way of business, but how are we resilient and prepared for all of these terrible things, and at least have visibility if something bad does happen? So as you can see, AI adoption creates a paradox. Delaying it poses strategic risk. So again, you can't just say, oh, we're not ready to go to the cloud. Delaying poses strategic risk. Rushing into it introduces poorly understood vulnerabilities. So organizations are trying to balance this. I created this bottom right slide as people talk to me about vibe coding and agentic and all of this stuff. I keep it really simple. We have this dirty, dangerous internet. We're trying to do a personal or work task. There's stuff that happens. There's code. How do I trust it? How do I know who's doing it? So how do I make sure that I'm working with who I want to work with and it has the access that it should? And how do I know how to trust it? And so that's really the problem that we're trying to solve for teams with Compass. Next slide, Scott. So who is it for? It's a dashboard for the entire team. So the vision is this is a tool so you can bring in all of these resources that we're providing, not only through the generative AI OWASP team, but it seems like there's a new amazing initiative through OWASP popping up every day. So how do I bring all of this data, all of this information, these threats, these vulnerabilities, these mitigations, how do I pull it into this environment where I'm already struggling with identity and service accounts and SBOM and maturity and third and fourth party, and actually build that strategy where I'm taking that, or knowing that I can't wait, it's coming really fast, but what do I need to do? So as Scott mentioned, he and I are working in tandem. The weekly meetings for version 2.0, you guys might have remembered from the last call, seemed like the very last week, right when I was trying to get everything finalized. There was a ton of really, really great ideas. I really stuck a stake in the ground. I said, okay, we're going to pause. These are fantastic ideas. Let's pause. Let's get 1.0 out the door, and then let's start. And 1.0 is really a methodology, a strategy, and there's going to be some teaching, some, as Scott mentioned, some YouTube videos, some workshops that he and I have discussed. But again, this is a way for us to go out and talk about everything that we're doing in the project and pull it all into one pane of glass so people can start building strategies around it. So we're going to finalize the playbook. I have a blog post that still needs some work, but it's ready to go.
Yep.
And as Scott mentioned, I have a bunch of drafts for videos. I will say that I did teach this last week in Ads was actually in the audience at Sandra Shuloff's AI red teaming hacker class. So it was definitely geared toward red teamers, and it went really well. They understood, they really liked it, tons of great feedback on it. So definitely is a tool that is across audience, and look forward to getting it published.
Awesome. Any questions for Sandy? All right. That is the end of the content that people dropped into the slide deck. So anybody else have any business that they would like to raise for the team? All right. Hey, tons of good stuff today. Looking forward to seeing some of you at Black Hat next month, and looking forward to all the stuff that we've got publishing this month and next month. So really, really exciting. Hey, I do see some people mentioning they're new to the group. Hey, if you're new to the group out here, and I didn't see it because you're off camera, feel free to introduce yourself. Be great to hear who's here and who's new. Just feel free to pop off mute and say hi.
Hello, this is Clinton. I in security engineering for the last over 20 years. So I don't need to all the information about AI that needs to happen. I was using OWASP a lot, but I never involved into this development that you guys are doing. So I should be happy if I was you guys. And I said, I'm going to be attend this regular to learn a lot from you guys. So thank you very much.
Welcome, Clint.
Welcome.
Hi, this
Anybody
is-
else?
Yes, very nice to meet all of you. Sorry, I can't turn on my camera yet. Still early for me. My name is Preet Kaur. I have been in IT and information security for more than 24 years now, have been a CISO as well and worked for Fortune 100 companies. Just recently recorded my latest OWASP top 10 version with LinkedIn. So I'm late to the party here, but looking forward to collaborate in future.
All right. And hey, if you're here today, nobody here should feel like they're late to the party. I always watch some of these analysts on CNBC, which is the financial network, and people are always asking them, like, is it too late to buy AI stocks? And he's always like, hey, it's like 9 p.m. at this, and this party is going till 4 a.m. You missed the first part. There's plenty left. We're scraping the surface here. So glad to have anybody join in.
Thank you for making me feel comfortable there.
Yeah, we're all kind of learning. I think one of the things we decided as a community was that we're going to focus on delivering some value and iterating fast because all this stuff is moving so quickly. So we're all kind of newbies in a way as we're kind of learning through this as it continues to change. So no problem.
Hey, my name's Abi. I'm starting my undergrad at UT Austin this fall in computer science. I've been active on the Slack. It's my first time joining one of the biweekly meetings, but I contributed to the Securing Agentic AI guide and the Agentic Landscape guide. I did a lot of stuff with Cloud Security Alliance in high school, so I've been kind of honing more in on AI and cyber, so that's kind of why I joined the project. But yeah, hopefully I was busy with high school because the meetings overlapped with when I had school. So hopefully now I can start joining more consistently.
I love it. And I'm going to put that quote somewhere. I was busy with high school, so I had to delay my contribution to the Agentic Security Initiative. That's fantastic. Welcome. Great to have you.
Hey everyone, Josh Hargis. I've actually been helping out with OWASP for some time, but the first time kind of popping up and saying hi here. I was with Cranium previously. That's when I was working on like the top 10 LLMs with Sandy back in the day. Great work. This is a great community. Now with Fire Mountain Labs, Chris Ward and I started a company back in April around AI and AI security, kind of consulting and services. And the last comment there, I actually went to UT Austin myself for my PhD, so feel free to ping me.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Anybody else? So many people on I didn't see.
Everyone, Abhishek here. I've been in cybersecurity now for about 10 years. I actually learned about this forum at the ISC2 event last week. Excited to be here. Looking forward to getting involved and learning and contributing where I can. Thanks.
Awesome.
Edmund Mo Martin, OWASP Los Angeles chapter leader, and happy to be here. So many familiar faces. Good to see you guys.
Yeah,
good to
great
see you.
here at the meeting. Edmund invited me down to talk to his chapter last year, a while ago.
Yeah, a while
great
ago.
Meeting, great group.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else? Glad we did this. So many new people. It's fantastic. All right, folks, we're getting up towards top of the hour. We'll give everybody back a few minutes to catch up before their next meeting. Oh, wait, Scott's got to wrap up.
I'm going to interrupt one thing because I'm going to do an ad. So again, doing an ad for participation. So if you guys want to come help out, we're working on, obviously you've seen some of the things that we're working on today. We're looking for anybody to kind of help out. So where you've got a passion to jump in, feel free to jump in. Not a lot of ego here. Looking for people to kind of collaborate together and kind of work together. we've got a couple things coming up. Anybody who's interested in outreach and working and doing videos and things like that, love to have you join the outreach team. You can feel free to reach out to me or join the Slack on that. Solutions is going, and I think there's some great opportunities across the other project areas to jump in. So that's my ad.
Reach out to any of us. I mean, we know that there's a lot going on. Just DM any of us. We're happy to kind of be your Sherpa through the Gen AI jungle.
Yeah. All right, this is fantastic. I feel good wrapping up the meeting today. Great to meet all the new people, everybody who's been here for a while, all the initiative leads, anybody else. I know you're putting a ton of work on this right now. This is fantastic. See y'all soon. Bye.
Okay.
Cheers, bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for checking out our bi-weekly meeting podcast. If you'd like to stay up to date on all the latest news for the OWASP Generative AI Security project, please click subscribe. And of course, we'd appreciate it if you'd share with a friend to grow our community. We'll see you in 2 weeks.